Warning! The following audio may contain coarse language and other material that may not be suitable for a younger audience. Listener discretion is advised. Also, we may spoil anything and everything, so you have been warned. Hey guys, J-Taku here. So before we get to the podcast, I would just like to say that unfortunately we were unable to schedule a new recording due to a certain member being moving to Japan. So in the meantime, this is an episode that was recorded prior to us taking a hiatus. We have a few podcasts that were recorded but were never released due to us taking the hiatus. So you may see some of them when we can't schedule a recording in time to get you a new episode. Please keep in mind that this was recorded over 9 months ago and the podcast has changed a lot since then. So even though Sooin is in this recording and it was recorded as a J-Taku, please keep in mind that neither are part of the podcast anymore. Anyway, that's all I have to say, so thank you very much and enjoy the episode.
Are we all recording?
Yes, I am now recording.
Yeah, all of us are recording. Okay. None of us are going to pull a Gene.
I hope. We'll find out, but I hope.
Gene's nowhere near me. I could never pull Gene.
Just don't do it. You may think it's a great idea. You may think it is, but it isn't.
Someone thought it was a good idea, obviously.
Gene's boyfriend's favorite anime is Afro Samurai.
What, is Gene going out with Jimmy?
Ooh.
That's rough.
The ship is real. Ooh.
Can you imagine?
That sounds terrifying.
That is horrible.
I just witnessed hell.
That's like a match made in Walmart.
I am so glad there's snow outside, because that was a sick burn.
I am so glad that they live in different states.
Oh my god.
I'm actually really excited because I got myself a boyfriend now, and I'm happy.
Oh, good job.
Congrats.
Jesus.
Thank
Sarah, congratulations.
Sooin, quick, let's get married, so that everyone's not single.
No, you're married to Connor. What the fuck are you talking about?
Sarah, get married to someone.
It's really awesome. He's this huge, geek, and it's amazing.
You were just gonna say he's this huge man.
No.
He's this huge,
he's scrawny, skinny, no.
Oh, it's just I'm married.
Like a geek, like a normal geek. Scrawny, skinny. Not huge.
Yeah.
Not huge.
Yeah.
Well, that you know of so far.
The question is, Sarah, though. The question is, does he like yaoi?
Garrett?
And if he doesn't, are you converting him?
I just realised I fucking had a dream that you were in. We were.
Oh god.
We were all on holiday. We were going to space.
Because that is the perfect holiday destination.
Yeah, we got off of there was some place with dinosaurs. But anyway, we were going home. And we were on the shuttle, and when we were at the space station, we were walking past, and this person said, "Oh my god, it's Giga!" And I was like, "Is he going to notice me too?"
No, it's your dream.
Even in my dream, I don't get noticed.
So can we talk about romance anime or nah?
Okay,
because that's a thing that we're supposed to be doing right now. If you all recall.
Best romance anime is Amnesia.
No. Get the hell out.
Go in the corner and
No.
And go in the corner and don't come out.
Best romance anime is Diabolic Lovers.
So,
Best romance anime is Jinro.
No. This is going off to a terrible start.
Best romance
Hello everyone and welcome to the episode of J-Taku. I'm going to interrupt you because this is the worst intro of all time, but the best romance of all time is something I'm sure we will discuss today, as we are discussing romance today, if you can guess.
Low quality bait.
Spoilers, there's a definitive answer.
So, today with me, I forgot to introduce myself. I am J-Taku, and today with me on this podcast is Tristan from Glass Reflection.
Greetings.
Sooin from Signanigan.
No, I saw that delay, or heard that delay. No. Screw off.
Sooin from Signanigans.
Gyabo!
Sarah from 42 Believers.
Why won't Senpai notice me?
And Alan from Backer Shift.
Moja.
It's not like he shifts or anything. Baka.
Backer Shift.
Backer.
So, with that in mind, let's start off with what we were discussing earlier. So, what is some of your favorite romance animes? What is romance done right for you? And Sarah, we can go either gay or straight.
No. Can I preface something? Can I preface this? Can I preface this?
Go.
Can I preface this? I just want to say that yaoi, for me, is not a part of the romance genre at all.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. You're lovely.
So,
Debatable.
In that line of thinking, then, do you put yaoi in the more hentai genre of anime? The stuff that's not really there for a plot. Or
no,
such?
I put it in the ecchi. I put it in the ecchi category, the gay ecchi category.
So number 6 is an ecchi.
Shall we just call from now on? We'll call yaoi sketchy ecchi.
Sketchy edgy.
I want a shirt with that on it.
Sketchy ecchi.
That's amazing.
I'm sure a lot of things can be put in sketchy ecchi. I'm sure that will be discussed in Mentaku.
But no, yes.
Wow.
So no yaoi.
Damn
no
it,
yaoi
Sarah,
is allowed
it's
to be
good.
mentioned.
We're like 2 minutes into the podcast, and already the barrier of yaoi has been broken
You're the
down.
ones.
There was a barrier.
You're the ones who keep bringing it up. I didn't bring it up at all. So fuck
Best
you
yaoi
all.
anime is Yaoi Mushi Pedal.
So since you preface, what's some of your favorite romance anime, Sarah?
I think the thing is that it's weird because some of my favorite romance anime aren't specifically romance.
Keep in mind that Kimi no Uso has not ended yet.
Yeah, but it's still on the list.
I mean, we can do a whole podcast on Kimi no Uso and how amazing that's going.
Nah, it's not even a romance anime. It's a competitive sports anime about pianos.
I love it. I eat it up. It's amazing.
Is Yaoi Mushi pianos?
Yaomushi pianos.
I really like 5 centimeters per second and Princess Tutu, I think, are two that come to mind as far as romance goes. I enjoy both of those a lot.
Oh, it's interesting you say 5 centimeters per second because it's very different than your typical romance anime. Because instead of this,
it's a long distance romance.
Yeah, well, no, it's not the story about two people getting together. It's more of a story about two people separating and
it's depressing.
Growing further apart from each other.
So it's right up my alley.
But that's like the majority of the Shinkai films, though. Like, all of them don't really revolve around romances that are the stereotypical ones. It's always I either loved someone and now I moved far away, or I'm moving far away, or this just isn't working out because of this reason or another.
The usual nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
Like, we used to be like this, or...
Yeah, like Voices of a Distant Star, Place Plumston Early Days, even...
She and Her Cat to an extent.
Even Garden of Words.
Yeah.
And then
Garden of Words.
And that's what I like about his films in general, is that romance is portrayed so much more realistically. Also, romance is portrayed realistically, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree, Golden Time?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to bring up realistic, we're gonna bring up Golden Time. But before we get in that debate, Tristan, how about you go?
Well, anybody that has actually watched me for a long period of time, they know one of my favorites, which is Clannad.
Is it Clannad? Yeah, of course.
Oh, big shocker!
Big fucking shocker there.
Is the next one going to be Toradora, Tristan?
Pardon?
Is the next one going to be Toradora?
No. Well, the thing with Toradora is that I really enjoyed Toradora when I first watched it.
Right.
And if we were just going based on that, it would be somewhere in the top 5 list. But Toradora to me is not rewatchable at all.
And hasn't aged well from what I've seen.
Quite a bit. It's an enjoyable romance for me the first time through it, when you don't really know what the hell's going on. But when you know how it ends, the enjoyment of the rest of it is lessened by quite a bit.
And Taiga is the worst piece of shit ever.
I think it can also potentially Toradora be a like a time and a place series for like where you are mentally as a person.
That could be as well. Because like I watched Toradora the first time just after I finished high school, so...
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the appeal.
What about you, Alan?
Usually.
But yeah, basically for me, my sort of like very favourite romance anime are split into the periods of my life wherein what my experience with IRL romance was. So... there's the chasing for romance style anime, and then there's the existing romance style of anime.
Right.
For me, the definitive of the former, for me at least, is Eureka 7, in terms of the getting there and there being there. That's just the series that like sort of resonated the most with me as a person when I watched it back then. And then moving on now, for me, like the actual full-on definitive romance anime is Nana.
Ooh,
Nana. That's a very good choice. I wouldn't have put that as romance. Surprisingly enough, I would.
Very good choice. Very good choice.
It's a very good choice. Very good choice. How about you, Sooin?
I have a couple. I've realized that as I've gotten older, I've gravitated more towards josei rather than shoujo, because shoujo by itself isn't enough. So, I
shoujo, they never do anything.
Exactly. we hold hands.
50 episodes of Kimi ni Sudoke and they hold hands once.
Apparently, that's enough for them. Okay, but yes, my favorite are Honey and Clover. Nana, as was aforementioned.
Wait, when did you watch Honey and Clover?
Like, some time ago?
I saw that we had a conversation. I was like, so you should watch Honey and Clover. And you're like, yeah, I know, I should really do that.
No, I saw it some time ago. It was really good. Like, but fucking...
Yeah.
Okay. Nana is the other one. And...
Yeah, no, Nana's good.
Yes. Third one... Nodame Cantabile.
Gabo.
Yes.
Nodame
Cantabile. Yes.
Nodame Cantabile is really, really good as well.
God.
I'm going to mention one more, only because I actually was semi-hoping somebody else was going to bring it up.
Okay.
Karikano.
Yes.
Karikano.
The Hideki Anno one, right?
If Hideki Anno didn't run out of budget at the end. Again?
Do you think they would have learned?
No. Here's the story about Karikano, though.
They did a much better job than Evangelion, though. But yes.
The thing about Karikano is that Anno was directing the first half, then he got kicked out or just left for whatever reason, which is why there's such a difference in production.
Yeah.
He was like, "Where's my robots? Fuck off, Joe." This ain't no gunbuster.
It was like it's everyone's too happy. I need more depression in this.
I need to see that show. I bought it. I got it on DVD.
But with Karikano, there was this kind of weird thing because it was probably one of the earlier animes that actually went and actually had the relationship actually exist beyond just pining over people.
Right.
But then it also had that whole Hideki Anno part where people... It almost seemed like they were trying to go down almost a mindfuck route, but they never really went down a mindfuck route. They just kind of hinted at it and then never went anywhere with it, which was great. But yeah, that's why I think I appreciate that show a lot. The ending... the ending wasn't that great. But...
that was the perfect sound.
But the ending... but all up until that, I really enjoyed that one. That one was good.
Yes.
And then, you can start naming things that aren't technically romance, like Princess.
Would you say that's the same experience that you had with Gungrave?
Gungrave?
Because Gungrave had such a good half.
Gungrave had to me, I really enjoyed the first half of Gungrave. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with romance, so we're on a bit of a tangent, but I really like the entire first half of Gungrave, with the exception of the first 2 episodes, because those were crap.
Didn't they spoil?
Doesn't like the first episode of Gungrave spoil a shitload of the rest of the series?
It really does, because it starts like in the middle of the story, and then it does background for the entire rest of the first half, and then it jumps forward again back to where the first 2 episodes existed for, and continues from there.
Yay!
And that was just really dumb.
But I think we can all agree that the best romance anime in existence is Angel's Egg.
Yeah, totally. That shit between the white-haired girl and the white-haired guy. Yeah.
The best romance in the world is definitely Naruto. If Naruto ended up with Sakura,
I think you meant Inuyasha.
Are we really gonna get into this?
No, but my favorite romances, since I didn't get to mention it.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Apart from
Forgot about that.
Apart from Golden Time, which is one of my most recent favorites, but apart from that, this isn't a true romance either. But it has one of my favorite romance stories. It's Rasaphon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really love the romance of Rasaphon.
That fucking scene where they hold hands backwards, man. I died.
Oh man. And do you know that the ending of Rasaphon just was so perfectly done.
Mm-hmm.
No, because it's an Evangelion ripoff. Fuck you, I hate you.
Okay, well then here's a question.
Okay.
Besides the things that we've mentioned, what are examples of kinds of shows that you watched where the romance isn't really the main focus. It might not even be a side focus. It might just be something that exists, but was still done really well.
Well, apart from Rasifon,
actually,
let me.
Would Millennium Actress count?
Because one that comes to mind to me is the very small romance that sort of, but not really, exists in Garden of Sinners.
What would you say about something like
Shiki and Kokuto, right?
What would you say about that's done really well, but I the thing about that is that I didn't get the warm and fuzzy feeling when they got together. It was more of like it was a different kind of feel from it.
Well, but that's kind of vindicative of their relationship. It's not a warm and fuzzy relationship to begin with.
No. But what about the part where they hugged?
I have got one though that did give me a warm and fuzzy feeling. Okay. That is definitely not a pure romance, and that's Steins Gate.
Yeah.
I mean, that final
Kurisu and Okabe OTP.
I mean, that final scene
Fuck
in the
Okabe.
OVA.
Christina.
I feel so sorry for Christina or Kurisu.
It's actually funny going through the visual novel and watching the individual endings for all the characters, because it's Okabe going with all the other female characters on the various endings, and I'm just like, they are actually playing this like it could work. I could actually see this happen. It's weird. It's friggin' weird. Well, except for a few of them.
Yeah, you get that a lot in visual novels.
Yeah, I know, but like normally they always like hardline the one girl, and then everything else just kind of siphons off at various points.
Right.
And Steins Gate, to a large extent, is sort of that, except even in Steins Gate, you always question whether the romance is supposed to go towards Kurisu or Mayuri.
I think it depends what you're playing.
Because they both sort of exist. Now, normally it's just Okabe with a brother-sister relationship with Mayuri. But there are times when you question if it would ever go beyond that.
I mean, I thought it was... I never saw Mayuri as a true romantic partner, because... I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like
she's annoying.
I feel like she feels like 14, and Okabe seems like 22 or something.
No, it's
like
just
that.
you'd be terrified of her making that noise in bed.
Oh god! Oh, Alan, why did you do that?
Alan
Do you
comes in
hate
with
us?
the curveball.
Alan, do you hate us? Because no.
I'm sorry, I just woke up. I had a dream about going to the space station.
Okay, some that I like that weren't the romance.
Does she make that noise when she orgasms?
Well, here's actually after what you said, Sarah.
Just ones that I liked that the romance wasn't the focus, but it was done really well. As I liked the Winry and Ed and Fullmetal Alchemist.
What little
there
that was,
and then,
yeah, no,
and
I
then
can see
the
that.
little,
I don't know.
the little that's there
don't know.
also in Baccano, because I think it's adorable.
That's
Who? There are several.
Is it Claire and Shanae, Isaac and Miria?
Any of them.
Actually, to be fair, one of the best romances is between Celti and what's his face in Durarara. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Has romance ever been done well in a shonen? I can't.
Full Metal Alchemist?
The second you added in a shonen.
Hey man, Nisekoi? Nisekoi?
No.
Nisekoi?
No.
Is
Misa and Light? Come on, man. That's one of the greatest love
no,
stories ever
no,
told.
it's Alan Light. What are you talking about? It has to be about that yaoi.
No. Yaoi's not
Hey,
coming
we're
to
not
this.
getting into that territory. Even the yaoi master didn't want to talk about it.
Yes. So coming from the word of God, no yaoi.
I can just imagine Sarah just at a dojo. There's like a bunch of yaoi posters.
Oh
You
my
don't know
God.
how many yaoi dojins I have, but that's beside the point.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yes, it is. It's beside the point.
Okay.
But
So what is the point that we are now beside?
Who the fuck knows, man?
Actually,
My following question, which is on a follow-up from what we were just talking about, which is, what do you actually prefer in a romance series? For it to be a kind of a side focus alongside a core narrative,
Yes.
heading towards something else, or as a straight, this is the plot?
Based on experience, I prefer it when it's a side thing, mainly because 9 times out of 10, I'm never satisfied when it's the main focus. At the end.
I think it's just because it's not the main focus in your life.
Yeah.
Here,
Is the thing is that like
here are two things I look for in a romance, okay? And the thing is, one very important thing for me to like a romance anime is there to be a fucking ending to this romance. Cause the amount of anime that I've watched and they fucking dangle this romance in front of you. And
shout out to Shakugan no Shana.
Shout outs to fucking everything, man.
Yeah.
Like,
shout out to Kimi no Toroke.
90%.
Shout out to Blast of Tempest.
Shout out to Spice and Wolf.
Yeah, Spice and Wolf. I would have loved the romance in Spice and Wolf if they had a fucking romantic conclusion.
Read the light novels; they're all finished.
I think for the worst with that for me was Chinibyo, because the end of the first season of Chinibyo was like, all right, they're together now, banging. Second season of Chinibyo is just like, we've been together for a year, we held hands once, and we get scared when we're next to each other.
Yeah, no, that kind of thing really annoys me. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's just like, fuck off. If you're gonna do that, don't make a second season.
Yeah. It's like that, and like with Mysterious Girlfriend X, they had this whole thing where the first thing she basically says to him is like, yeah, I fell on the floor laughing because I figured that we would have sex eventually. And then they get into a relationship and they barely do anything besides kiss a lot because apparently he'll die without saliva. But that's just a weird series in general.
MGX is just foreplay the anime, though.
Remember Tristan, an after story. Oh my god, Tomoya and Nagisa held hands. And now she's pregnant. Next episode.
Spoilers for Clannad, everyone.
Yeah.
Spoilers for
There's a
Clannad.
relationship there.
At least with that, though, there were a bunch of semi-time skips. It wasn't like a day-to-day life where just suddenly she was pregnant.
No, he actually had a parasite. That's how holding hands got her pregnant.
Alien parasite. This is not some tentacle hentai.
Voiced by Aya Hirano.
I mean, that's why one of an anime I recently really liked, which is controversial, but the reason I really liked it was because I got a romantic conclusion to it. And what anime was that? It was
Nobinaga. God,
Did
that's
have
too
it?
controversial.
No. Orimo, of course.
Nobunaga.
Which is not much better than Nobunaga.
No.
Wait, you count that as a okay. Hang on.
Romance and harem are two different things, Gordon.
I'm rolling my sleeves right now. I'm getting ready to fight in the boxing ring.
Okay, go, come on, Sooin.
If she had long hair, this is when she would tie it up.
Dempshirore.
Serious modo.
Go on, Sooin. Go on. Give me your best shot, Sooin. Go on.
Kirino is the worst piece of shit I have ever laid my
Sooin,
eyes
shut
on.
the fuck up. You don't even know. You don't even
I'm
have
sorry
a taste
that I want to
in
have
women.
sanity in my life. I'm sorry that I don't want to have a bitch who is my significant other.
You know what?
My god. Fucking.
You know, Kira. You know
like,
what?
go for Ayase even. Even go for fucking salary.
You know what? No. What? Kirino was the original girl. Like, she first girl wins, basically.
Kirino had to win. Let's be real.
Yeah.
It was just how it had to happen for the story to actually conclude.
And it's just like if she wasn't the thing I liked about Ori no Yamato is that someone actually won, which is the one big thing in especially harem anime.
It didn't go down well.
That you get an ending. Apart from maybe School Days, that had an ending.
No. So basically, you're basically saying that it's at least better than something like Love Hina, where they start out saying, "Oh, well, the girl I made the childhood friend promise with, that's the one I'm going to be with," and then for like half the season, they dangle in front of you, "Oh, that person could be this person." No, it was actually this person.
That's just Nisekoi's plot point as well.
Yeah.
Though, isn't it?
Nisekoi is basically
it's my promised pendant person from the past.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nisekoi breaking the Weishwartz meta, by the way.
Kind of glad Jean's not here because she doesn't have to talk about School Days.
You all have to admit that there is a difference between harem and romance. Like they are linked, but they're not the same thing.
no.
Well, harem is a subgenre of romance. That's just what it is.
The thing with the harem, though, is that there's maybe a romance between one pairing of the harem, but the majority of it is just ecchi comedy. For the most part. There are exceptions,
Well,
yes.
it's mainly that the protagonist is some indecisive fucklip.
I think you're mistaking it because I think they're both romance.
Shout out to Kitara.
But one is realistic romance and one is non-realistic romance. I mean, as much as I would love to say that I've lived in a dorm room with 6 girls or whatever, I doubt many guys have that experience. picking.
It's a story of
and
convenience.
I have. It was fucking annoying. They kept coming onto me when I was trying to build Gunpla. I was just like, fuck off. Can you not see? I am busy with my robot. You inconsiderate whore.
They should make an anime about Alan and his Neo Zeon.
Okay, here's a question. Because we're on the discussion of a harem, and this show I'm about to bring up is sort of a harem, but also the weird twist to it. World God Only Knows.
That's a very interesting choice.
Because it technically is a harem, but it has that whole everybody forgets shit at the end of the arc thing.
I think for me, it's like it's a next level harem because it's taking everything and going, yeah, we're able to apply this logic to it because of our world.
Yeah,
and it's like we can use all of the harem tropes and everything, but justify it with our setting, and that's what makes that show so next level.
Okay, well, before that, I want to go back to you, Sarah.
Yes.
You said harem is not are not part of the romance genre. So, what, in your opinion, is a definition of the romance genre? Then, if you don't want to include harem for me,
well, the reason why I don't include harem is because it just has that absurd ridiculousness that is that obviously is not at least realistic enough. Which is why I'm not.
Comedy
yeah,
factor.
and that's why I'm not including yaoi in this because yaoi is ridiculous. That's why.
I think it's mainly because they both stray way too far. They both stray way too far from actual human psychology and relatable mindsets.
Yeah, that's why I just don't.
Because I think that the big problem with yaoi is that for some reason in yaoi world everyone is gay, and if a straight person sees another straight person, they are suddenly gay.
No. It's actually everyone. It's everybody's heterosexual, but then they suddenly turn gay.
Going off topic. Has there ever been a realistic yaoi?
Yes.
I will believe it exists.
It's a
I will
manga.
never seek it out personally.
It's a manga, and it's my favorite manga of all time, from yaoi manga of all time. It's called Doshitemo Furatakanai, and it's amazing, and I love it.
You know what, Sarah?
Yes.
I'll read that because currently my preconceptions of yaoi is stuff like Love Stage, where it's just like this just is stupid. Like it isn't a bad show, but this isn't romance. This is just like two straight people suddenly becoming gay. It just doesn't make any sense.
Would you count that as a romance then?
Love Stage?
No, not love. Are you kidding me?
No, you mean Doshitemo Furatakanai?
Yes.
If I was, that would be the exception to the rule. I would be like, yeah, yaoi, that's actual romance. Yes, that one right there. More of that, please. I like that one.
Okay, what do you guys look for in a romance then? Because I named off one of the things. It has to have an ending. But what's the other thing that you guys look for in a romance?
The girl can't be a bitch.
Oh, they're already
so basically
right
nothing with tsunderes? Is that what you're saying, Sarah? Do you want to fight, Sarah? Do you want to fight?
Do you want to fight?
Here's the
you
thing,
want to
though.
go?
Okay, now here's the bitch. I to a degree, I will agree with that, but it's the kind of thing where if she is a bitch, she can't be a bitch for the whole thing.
Yeah.
If she's a bitch for parts of it, okay, fine. But she can't be a bitch the entire time, because then that's not really a stable relationship.
Yeah.
That's a very volatile relationship that the guy should probably get the hell out of.
Looking at you,
Of the
days.
two things I look for in romance, it's she can't be a bitch, and then you have to actually see, there has to be a reason for them to be falling in love.
Rather than just plot convenience.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I can't remember. No, wait. Sword Art Online. That's the one.
That one.
Here we go.
No fucking sense.
So what? Is that
like,
is this going back to the harem topic, or is this going
I can't believe you're saying this, Gaunt. Asuna and Kirito is the greatest love story of our age.
Shut the hell
No,
up.
Sinon and Kirito is the best. It's the best romance ever.
Sinon and Death Gun. OTP.
nothing sort of unlike,
No,
but that's
Suguha and Kirito.
that is if they're falling in love for plot convenience, it's just dumb. I'm done. I don't want any part of it. Get it out of my face. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the biggest things I look for is a lack of obliviousness. Because one of the things that irritates me the most is when it's obvious to the audience, it's obvious to everyone else in the show that at least one of these people likes the other one. Like, everyone can kind of tell.
Yeah.
But the characters themselves, I think Kimi ni Todoke is actually a show I really did enjoy. But sort of the ship limbo in that series where it's just kind of like, everyone knows they like each other. You know they like each other. and they don't know they like each other, to the point where there's so many like of these horrible misunderstandings that just make you get frustrated.
Why did you
I think that is kind of a barrier that separates me.
Why did you like
from,
Blue Spring Ride then?
I don't know. I thought I just like Ko as a character.
Because that's exactly what pissed me off in Blue Spring Ride. Like I could not understand why those two were just not together.
Wait, did you finish Our How Ride?
Yeah, Our How Ride. Yeah.
Wait, did you finish it first? First of all,
I didn't.
Actually, I think one of the one of the main reasons actually I liked it is because it was only for 12 episodes. The reason why that really got to me in Community's OK is because it was 26 and then another 12, and they were still doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a degree of time that's acceptable for me.
I mean, I think one of the things, because I don't watch a lot of pure romance anime, because I don't know how long you can possibly drag out a romance and have it still be interesting, if you know what I mean, like purely just romance. I mean, one of my favorites short OVAs, I forgot what it's called. I think it's like Hotarubi no Mori.
Oh, Hotarubi no Mori.
Yeah,
Natsume Yujin one, right?
Yes, I fucking love that. That's an amazing romance, and it's 40 minutes long. And something like Golden Time is a rare exception where I would watch romance for like over 12 episodes. And I think one of the big things I look for is that because like you said, Alan, that thing where they like each other, but they don't know they like each other. I think that's just like padding out a romance. And I think in terms of pure romance, being padded out is a lot more grating than padding stuff out with other genres.
It has been proven, at least I think in one example, where that kind of thing can work. The example I have in question is Notabe Cantabile, where they do sort of like each other, but it's not like the solid relationship that you would expect. They're more so just really close friends that eventually move into the romantic setting.
Actually, Tristan, how far have you watched into it?
I have seen the first 2 seasons? Because there's 3,
okay, so you haven't seen the...
I didn't see the one where they went to Europe.
there's...
I didn't see the Europe trip,
okay.
But I saw the first 2 seasons.
Wait, Europe? Wait, or are you talking about Paris?
Oh, Paris, yeah. I didn't see
Paris. That. Yeah, Paris is second season. Oh, you didn't see. So you only saw the first season.
Okay, so I only saw the first season. I thought
so basically, the first season is pretty much them getting to know each other, and the very last episodes around that area. That's when they start, I guess, confirm each other. Because back then it was all just for shits and giggles, basically. Like Nodame would joke about how she's the wife of Chucky. But we really didn't take it seriously. It wasn't until the Paris chapter is when they really start taking it seriously, and that's when their relationship really blooms, metaphorically. And that's great because it shows graduality. Like, it's not sudden. Like, Chucky hated Nodame to begin with, and he found a quality in her that he liked, and it went from there.
But it's also not the grating thing that Alan was talking about, where they're going to get together, but they just don't.
Yeah, and that's what I love about good romance. It's not sudden. Like, there's a subtlety to it.
No, but... yeah, I do also hate it when the pairs just get together out of nowhere. Again, shout out to Sword Art Online.
And Angel Beats.
Angel Beats. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, just so you know, I love you. What?
Yeah.
Weren't you shipping me with that other chick for like the entire show?
How many anime do we spoil?
They all listen to the intro.
Angel Beats just didn't make logical sense. Like at all.
Okay. So we've named good.
No, here's the thing about Angel Beats. We thought Yuripei was the one.
She should have been the one. She was.
She was the focus of the ending song. She was the leader of it. She was the Haruhi of the group.
Yeah, she was like 10 times.
He was in her kokoro.
More.
Literally.
And he saw up her skirt.
Angel Beats was basically like reenacting Haruhi, and then suddenly in the last second being like, no, I actually really like Disappearance and think Hyun should have been with Yuki. That's Angel Beats.
Wait, so Tristan, surely that would be like your ideal
why
Haruhi.
are you complaining, Tristan?
Because it was last second forced, and then they came up with and then they came with that wonderful plot twist of warping time and space that made no sense to me. That's where they lost me. The idea of the romance I was okay with, but how they executed it was horrible.
I think it's also because Yuki is a hell of a lot better than Tenchi, let's be real.
Okay, so we talked about good romances. What are some bad romances or examples of bad romances that you
Before
guys
that, can I get to one other thing that I like to see?
Sure.
I like to see romances that are initially, you have this feeling that they're eventually going to push, but then never do. Case in point, Yoko Littner and Simone. I am so glad they never went there.
What?
So you're happy that there was no romance?
I never got a single vibe that those two.
I never.
It was
did
like
as well.
big sisterly for me with her.
No, well, when Yoko went teacher mode, I could sense it a little bit.
I would know. It was when, after episode 6, when the happens, I was worried that that's where it was going to go. Because that's the kind of shit I've seen happen before. And I was so happy when it didn't.
I can't think of any other examples apart from that.
And then she fell for Kitan in the middle of a battle, and it's like, oh.
Yeah. But, bad romance examples. Could anyone think of any?
I have a couple.
My number one.
Apart from the obvious,
absolute worst. I hate it. I can't stand it. Is Chobits. I can't stand Chobits. Chobits fucking pisses me off. I can't.
Okay, let's get into Chobits. Okay, what about Chobits?
No. I actually agree with you, Sarah.
She's 10 years old.
I actually agree with you. I hated Chobits.
Chobits is so boring. It's so
Sarah,
boring.
Virtual high five, Sarah. High five.
Okay,
so
no,
bad.
I
So
understand
bad.
your reasoning, and to a very large extent, I agree with you. But I want to know reasonings because I'm curious.
She has no personality. She is a soulless, lifeless thing. Why is there romance with the soulless, lifeless thing who looks like she's fucking 14? 14!
Because anime?
No!
Because she's got, like, actual emotions and shit, man. And Hideki doesn't, like...
Because you can turn her on, literally.
Yep.
That's just everything about Chobits just fucking pisses me off. I can't
To be
stand
fair,
it.
I think the reason why I like Chobits so much is because it's a nostalgia thing. It was one of the first series I watched.
That's
and it
fair.
Was like,
That's fair.
In my infancy.
It's
I
one
just
of the
loved
earlier
it.
series for me, too, back in high school.
It was as well, but this is when I was in my harem phase. Like, I watched, like, fucking Love Hina, some other stuff, Oh My
So
Goddess.
did you want, like...
and then I watched Chobits as well. And I just didn't get Chobits. Like,
I don't
just
get
didn't,
it.
Oh,
I don't
you're
get
mentioning
it.
Oh My Goddess. That's a good one.
That,
But just kind of like the nostalgic 90s romance that has that kind of like aura of just like peaceful.
Thing is, I
longevity.
liked it back then. I don't think I would like it now. Cause
Oh My Goddess.
yeah, because I
watched the OVA recently, like the very first thing that I hadn't seen before. It's actually still quite holds up. It's kind of like a nostalgic feeling. I think you'll be able to watch it and just go and enjoy it and just remember the kind of things you went through back then.
Thing is, I did watch Love Hina, the Christmas special, a while back, and I was just like, wow, this is so bad. Oh my god.
Love Hina's different though, because like Love Hina's just like the big daddy of harems.
Yeah.
And
Oh
My Goddess is the big daddy of like the waifu archetype.
Yeah. But yeah, Chobits. I really didn't like Chobits.
I hate Chobits.
Just the same reason for Sarah, because it's just, the robot is just a lifeless doll.
Has any of you seen Deers?
No.
I've seen a bit of that.
Oh, Alan, don't bring the show up, dear God.
Deers is like it's a bit like Chobits, but I think she's an alien or something. But she's like a sex alien. That just kind of appears into his life. He like finds her in a bush. It's like, oh, I've got a sex alien living with me now.
What
Brilliant.
the fuck, Alan? Oh.
Again, that's one of the first series I watched. I loved it. back
Topic
then.
change, for the love of God.
Wait.
Topic change.
Story time with Sooin.
Oh, God.
Deers was one of the very first anime I watched on Crunchyroll back when they were not so legal back then.
Okay. So we're talking about those times. I was like,
why the fuck would
Yes.
you have chosen to watch that show?
I don't
Hyper's
know.
not in that one.
I clicked on the one that was nearest to my mouse and just like
I don't know,
oh
man.
my god.
It looked interesting at the time. Thumbnail was pretty cute.
okay,
I have another shitty romance.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Vampire Knight.
That's not even a romance. That is
That's-
Twilight fodder. Get that shit out of here.
A lot of people consider romance. I I swear to no, I'm sorry, but being in love with an ancestor, that is a definite no-no. Yuki
Incest.
is shit.
I mean-
Zero is shit. Kaname Senpai is shit. That entire show is shite. Do not watch it unless you're Fujoshi.
I'm gonna go watch Vampire Night now.
I
hi.
would rather
Alan
sit through
self-declared
or on
Fujoshi.
High School.
Or on High School's amazing.
Oh, that's not a good one.
That's
Wait, but
is-
would that
is that
really
a
count
romance?
as a?
So much debauchery.
It's the
I consider more that as a comedy more than a romance.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
you know, we're talking about romance scattered in like anything. Because I can say something like Mirai Nikki. Mirai Nikki had a bit of romance in it, and it was awful.
Sort of. Yeah, I guess. You could say that the romance was one of the driving forces.
You know what's a great romance? Kotora-san.
Oh my god, that Kotora-san is just the worst. Oh my god.
I feel like a lot of this is going to be us just mentioning cringeworthy shows that are just like notoriously bad, and we're not going to get anywhere. It's like I could list like
we're gonna
bad
get somewhere
horrors
because
till
what's
I'm
going
blue
to
in the
happen
face.
is we're going to mention all these shows, and then half the people that listen to this aren't going to know what they are. And then out of curiosity, because that's how this shit works, when you say something's bad and nobody's heard of it before, they will go find out why it's bad. So then they'll go, and then they'll come and yell at us for ever bringing it up.
Yeah, shout outs to Tristan being the reason that people watched Tristan being the reason people watch School Days.
I feel like this is all the pent up anger Tristan has from school days. It's just
You know what? You know
fuck
what?
y'all, you guys.
Should I just
Let it out.
talk about all the shitty yaoi that I've watched? And like those are all terrible. Like
You told us you weren't going to do that, Sarah. You told us you weren't going to talk about it.
they're so
we
bad.
we have verbal confirmation that saying about half an hour ago that you would not do this, and in the end here we are again.
And she did it.
Actually, Sarah, you know what's a really great romance anime?
Oh no.
Mm? Oh god.
Aiken.
No. No. No.
Aiken is single-handedly the greatest romance anime in the history of anime.
Sooin, no, you're gone. Bye.
But I am surprised that no one has
Bye.
mentioned one show at all, because even though I personally didn't like it, the romance there was okay. Kids on the Slope.
Would that count as a yaoi? No, I'm joking.
I mean, we didn't like it because it wasn't about music. But what did you guys think about the romance in that show? Because
I liked how it that it was a love triangle that didn't like hit the fan. I guess like it was a love triangle that didn't just like explode into this ridiculous melodrama.
yeah.
Well, there wasn't really any drama about that show at all. It just kind of existed.
It was just kind of floated through, and then there was that scene where they played in the school, and it was amazing.
It was like it was quite literally slowly going down a slope. Just
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens.
Right, go cattles and run.
What are your opinions on love triangles then?
My opinions on love triangles is that it fucking pisses me off when people think a love triangle is... No, it pisses me off when people think a show with a love triangle in it is a harem.
No,
Because, like, so many people
No.
will look at, like, shows that have a love triangle in and go, yeah, that's a harem. But it's just like, that's not...
It's a harem in training.
Well, if we're talking about love triangles, I think, like, Golden Time is one of the best definitive examples of that.
Yes, definitely. Golden Time. I can't think of many love triangles done well apart from Golden Time. Because the thing about love triangles is that they're so cliche now that it's hard. You have a hard time finding something that feels fresh.
Then again, actually, Golden Time was more of kind of a love pentagram with everyone liking everyone, but no two people liking the same person until the end.
Yeah.
well, the problem I have with love triangles can be summed up by a show called Kashimashi, which was a really weird show of a guy that gets hit by an alien spaceship and turned into a girl. But
That sounds amazing.
it sounds amazing.
This
But
sounds
the
like
show
a
has
premise
this
of a hentai.
entire love triangle. But the majority of the time, while the love triangle exists, you can see what the main pairing is. And then the main character chooses which of the girls that they want to go with, and then that happens. And then, like, in the last second, in the final hour, basically, they change their mind.
Yay.
And I'm like, what?
Just thinking about it, another
No.
love triangle that I am very fond of is in a Kokoro Connect. Between
Kokoro
protagonists.
I always thought that
Inaba
was
and the little girl.
My favorite love triangle is probably in Princess Jellyfish.
So can someone explain? Can someone explain to me the joke?
Princess Jellyfish, such a good show. If anybody's listening to this and you haven't seen it, go watch it.
It's so good. It's so cute, and it is a really nice love triangle because it's not done annoying and it's just adorable.
Yeah, no, that one's good. That one's good. I like that one. But then again, nothing really goes anywhere in that show because it just kind of ends, which was depressing. But for what it had, it was great.
And the manga goes off in this really weird direction, but
as most do.
Yeah.
Shout out to the soggy
Bunny
drop.
So in romance, do you like knowing who the final pair is going to be before the ending, basically? Because
it's rare that you don't know because usually the show makes it
obvious.
blindingly obvious.
Usually obvious because of the opening.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, if we're talking about like love triangles,
Actually,
I mean,
an anime that doesn't do that is Honey and Clover. Has anyone seen that anime?
Yeah, a long time ago though, so I better remember it.
Yeah, same actually.
Because
that was a while back. Jeez.
Yeah, many of the relationships in Honey and Clover, you think that they're going to end up with, but some of them eventually dismiss it as crushes and eventually move on, which I did find really enjoyable about that. But yeah, as Tristan said, there's barely any anime that involve like different pairings later on. But
so here's the thing, actually, something that we were discussing last night, actually, on the live stream. What do you prefer, actually, in a protagonist of a romance series? Do you prefer someone who is very kind of defined and characterized that's very much themselves, or do you prefer a more kind of like blank slate protagonist that you can project yourself onto, or subconsciously at least project yourself onto?
I hate the blank slate, usually because that's the type of character that shows up in the harem series. And
blank slates are terrible. Blank slates are Kristen
less
Stewart's.
blank slate, but like
Bella Swans.
like people like Renton in your
example,
like Banri in
well, I don't really think Renton is that much of a blank slate. Like he's more just of a stereotypical adventure hero, rather than.
That's what I mean. Like that kind of someone more stereotypical.
Well, that's the thing. Like when you say blank slate, I literally think
I don't literally
slate.
mean like that kind of person.
They can talk and they can deal with basic human interactions, but beyond that, they just get stuck into really stupid
John
Smith's essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I think especially Tada Banri was by far the weakest part of Golden Time, because it was all about the female characters in Golden Time, which were just so amazingly written. And I definitely prefer because the thing about the pairing that I see in a romance is that I want them both to be suited for each other. Like I'm going to come out and say this now. Even though this is not a good romance, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a good romance.
Here we go.
But within Nisekoi, Gorilla. Shut the fuck up, guys. In Nisekoi. In Nisekoi, I will say this: Chitoge is just best girl. That's undeniable fact there.
Okay.
Like, you guys agree with that?
I love how Gaunt's just like, I'm just going to talk about this all intelligently. Going to actually talk about this, approach this discussion properly, and just Chitoge's best girl. Drop the mic.
Yeah, I'm just going to say Chitoge's best girl, even though she's clearly I assume is obviously the best one, but she's not going to win. So Chitoge, I'll go for the bitchiest one actually.
But
yeah,
I do think that Onodera is a better fit for the main character. And
you heard it here first, folks. It came out of his mouth. That
doesn't mean she's the best girl. And I'm so glad that Ken is not here right now. I'm so fucking glad that he's not here, and I hope he never listens to this fucking podcast.
He will listen to this. He will.
He's going to explode,
tell him to.
and we'll all know why. He'll just be like,
we'll just hear a scream of joy from Rochester.
And it's like Ken, like just fuck you. I don't care for your shit taste in women if you're listening to this. But in romance, I do like it when the two people are very suited for each other, rather than this person is just with. Yeah. Rather than plot convenience, because something like Ananatsu Demataru, where you know what? Even though the main girl ended up with they both confess they love each other or whatever. I preferred the blue-haired girl in Untitled Chapter. I thought she was more suited for the main character.
Wait, go on. You know, the main girl had glasses and the blue-haired girl didn't, right?
Yes.
So how the fuck could you make that choice, you pleb?
Are we going down this route now?
No.
But
I think we all know that the spy was the best girl.
Best girl is Kari from Shigatsu Kimi no Uso. So
best girl is
no, best girl is no to me. You can all go away now.
Best girl is Menma from Anohana.
Go away.
Oh man, the romance.
All right, she's dead.
Best girl is Kotonoha.
No.
Fuck off.
No.
We're not turning this into a bait episode. God damn it.
Anyway, going back to Golden Time, actually, wherein you said, mentioning how much better and more well written the female characters were in that series.
Yeah.
I think that, and now broadening the topic, lends itself to the fact that generally the gender of the writer is very, very clear in a given romance, and the characters of that gender within the series are usually a hell of a lot stronger, which I think is why something like Golden Time has such great female characters, and why something like Nana has such great female characters, is because they are written by women.
Okay, do you think women write better romances then?
Potentially.
Which is why they shouldn't write yaoi.
Yeah. Because they don't know how men work.
Remember? We're not talking about it. We're not gonna talk about it.
We will save that for Yaoi Taku.
Yeah, some of my favorite romances were written by women.
I think a lot of men writing romance was basically like, I remember that relationship I had. That time we had sex in the train was great. Women will be like, I remember that time we had the picnic in the park. Let's write about that.
Yeah.
It was I think that's a very interesting point, because I think a lot of my favorite romances are written by women as well. So maybe that gives characters a different perspective. I don't know. I'm not a woman. What do the women think about this?
I mean, since
you can't talk to me about it, because apparently I'm not one.
You're
Sooin.
Because I see both sides of the coin. I do see the awesome romances written by women and how amazing they are. I also read a lot of yaoi, and it's all shit.
I thought we agreed we were going down this road. Why the heck did you give Sarah
Well, I
the
think
floor?
it's basically it's the same with comparing like a proper romance written by a man to an ecchi. It's just basically like within stuff written by women, you have genuine romance, and then you have pandering. Mm-hmm. You have your amnesias, your diabolic lovers, your stuff that's just got the depth of like
your vampire knight.
A spoon, and it's just like there's nothing there, because it's not writing a proper romance. It's just kind of writing these bizarre, broken, horrendous fantasies.
Yeah. Okay. I've got one last question before we wrap this up.
Okay.
Because we need to wrap this up soonest. Okay. So, how do you guys feel romance, anime, or even we'll broaden this out. We'll just talk about anime, dramas, and movies from the East. How do you think they compare to romance films or whatever in the West? Because for me personally, I cannot name any Western romances that I actually like. And I thought I just didn't like romances until I got into anime, when I was like, oh, I actually want these two characters to get together. But when I see things...
Bro, are you hating on There's Something About Mary?
Off the top of my head, When Harry Met Sally comes to mind. But that is not so much stereotypical.
Yeah.
Friends.
I think
the show.
I think on something like Titanic, and I think of something like The Notebook, and I'm just like,
Those suck.
This really does not appeal to me. I don't know why. It's so
I think
different.
it's just because their relationships don't kick off with one of them slipping on something and falling on the other one, landing on them like underpants first.
Not enough Cinderella.
Like, that's just how relationships work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or those weird situations where it's like... Yeah, because romances in North America don't start with those ecchi sequences that always seem to happen in anime.
I think I've more not in film, but with novels, like something like I really want an anime adaptation, which would never happen.
Like
is
Twilight.
Time Traveler's Wife. Time Traveler's Wife. If any of you have read that, like that is an incredible romance. That novel by Audrey Neffenegger, like something like that. I think just truly
The one Western...
Definitely doesn't sour my depiction of romance in the West.
Or even classics like Wuthering Heights, Jane Eyre, I guess, but it kind of aged horribly because, well, culture, context have changed over time. And that kind of bleeds into anime and... Yeah, that kind of bleeds into anime and Western films because it all depends on what you brought up or how you were brought up under a specific culture.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think the one that comes to mind is the one that
Harry
I like
Potter.
most in the West is Pushing Daisies.
Oh.
I really root strongly for the romance in that. I really do.
Even though it's probably never going anywhere. Yeah,
even though you know it's never going anywhere, but you still like it and you still like the characters.
No, Pushing Daisies was amazing.
It was awesome. You should all watch it.
It's not an anime, it doesn't count. You shouldn't watch it.
You're the one who said not to go anime, Karen. You're the one who brought that up.
I didn't say recommend any stuff. Like, what is this, guys?
Well, fuck you very much, Corey.
I recommend Ruby and Legend of
Best
Korra.
romance movie of all time is Brokeback Mountain.
No.
Okay. Now this is devolved.
This is devolved. Yeah, somehow. So this has been the Romance Podcast. Although, if anyone would like to count the amount of times yaoi was mentioned in this podcast, please go ahead.
I have a feeling that this is not going to be the last Romance Podcast, but it is the one you're getting for now.
Yes,
It's not the last, but it is the first.
It is the
we
first.
can guarantee that much.
It's not the one you deserve, but it's the one you need right now.
No, shut up. We're not making that reference. See, I knew someone's
It's
going to make that
already done.
reference, and I was like,
It's already done.
God damn it,
Well, this
Tristan.
is what you got, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, well, you just wasted an hour. So
Joke's on you.
that was silly of you, wasn't it?
Yeah. So with me today has been Tristan from Glass Reflection,
Stay frosty, everyone.
Alan from Barker Shift,
Sayonara, Mina-san.
Sooin from Signanigan,
Minasan genki desu.
and Sarah from 42 Believers.
The yaoi genre's a piece of shit.
Why'd you
know
watch
this.
it, Sarah? Why'd you watch it?
Why do you watch
The
ecchi
sky
when it's a
is
piece
blue.
of shit?
Grass is green.
Ecchi's awesome.
We watch ecchi because it gives us a boner.
Yeah. Same for girls. We read yaoi because it gives us
you
lady
boners.
No,
Wait. So, are you implying that gay stuff makes us horny?
I mean, have
That's
you seen
a
Tumblr?
slippery slope,
Wow.
if you know what I mean.
I don't think Sooin
Well,
knows
that
what-
was a very, very, very disgusting joke you just made, Tristan.
I know.
Okay.
Fucking let's end this shit. Let's end it. Let's just end it. This is a mess.